Hi everyone, a bit of a change of scenery here. I just moved into a new home. I'm still trying to put together my filming space, but I did not want to miss my Financial Friday check-in. Today, we are actually going to be doing our financial check-in from July 1st through July 11th. I appreciate you guys for joining me for another Lessons Lived video. Of course, today is going to be all about my financial check-in. Before we get started on this video, please do give me a thumbs up, subscribe, because I do have quite a lot of exciting videos coming up for you guys. So give it a thumbs up. Without further ado, let's jump right into it. So we are going to go into my reports. If you've been following me for a while, I used to use Simplify, but I recently switched to Monarch, and I do have to say I much prefer Monarch over Simplify. So we're gonna go to reports. I'm specifically looking at my spending, and we are going to be looking at January 1st to the 4th first. So if you guys remember, I break down my expenses. Okay, so this is the spreadsheet. I'm gonna move myself around here. So this is the spreadsheet that I use to kind of evaluate. I like this visual a lot better. So most often I will have my software and my spreadsheet at the same time. So the way I've decided to break down the month of July is to have the first week being 1 through the 4th, because I like everything to end on a Friday. The second week, I can click on this and show you guys. So this week is only going to be the 1st to the 4th. This week is going to be the 5th to the 11th, right? So today I'm looking specifically at week 1 through 2. So right now we are going to start with my week 1 expenses. I've already logged in all of the expenses just because there was a lot of cleaning up that I had to do with all of my different categories. I might even plug in the beginning of that process. We'll share that video with you right now, where I am going through all of the headache of trying to do this on camera, but I eventually had to stop because there was just so much that I needed to clean up, that I needed to organize. When you change softwares, all of your categories are messed up. So you need to go back and double check and rework everything. So what I did today was that I even reworked all of my categories here on the left side, right? So if you can see on these categories here, I overworked all of that. So I kind of had to rework all of my categories to align them with the Monarch software. Right? And I feel like I'm at a good place now. But we're gonna now insert the video of me trying to do this because it was a nightmare. Let's go ahead and review week 1 of July. We're going to review my budget for week 1. That would be July 1st all the way to July 7th. So the timing is kind of perfect. Honestly, the budget part, we're kind of starting over from scratch because of a few changes that have happened in my life. So weekly, we're going to track everything. And then here in about a month or 2, we'll actually set the budget and go from there. So here is my Monarch platform. I switched from Simplify to Monarch. I liked Simplify a lot, but I was having too many issues. So let's filter by date. So from the 1st through the 11th, we'll apply that. Actually, I'm new to this system, so let's filter. The bad thing about not being on top of your finances is that you begin to freak out. But then as you get back into it, I promise you, you will begin to see your situation change significantly. Okay, so this one looks very different to me. I don't know. This is cash flow. Okay. Spending. Okay, now this is what I recognize. Okay. My God, it's been such a long time. Actually, I'm new to Monarch, right? So I know I've seen this feature before. I just wanted to make sure I have everything down. So if you've been with me for a while, you recognize this feature. You recognize that I always look at spending reports within a certain data range, and it breaks everything down into specific categories. Today might be a bit of a headache because I'm kind of starting over and I'm making sure that everything is in the right categories. And so we will look at where I stand. I don't like the way it's breaking this down. This is too many categories for me. Why don't you just give me all of my top categories? I don't understand why it's doing this. So I had to go from categories to groups to kind of see my broader categories. This makes a little bit more sense to me. So under financial, I have this shopping, I have Amazon. Yeah, I don't want, I feel like I kind of want to redo my categories because I don't like what I'm seeing here. What the heck is going on here? Okay, real estate investing. Yeah, so I'm actually going to go into under the account section, and I think I'm going to redo all of the categories because I don't like what's happening here. Bills and utilities, real estate investing. Okay, all right. Food and dining, auto and transport. Okay, this is not others. Okay. So we'll make sure all of this is changed to business software and subscription. Boom. Create a rule. Dropbox. Apply to all 8. Got that. Workspace. This is business utility and communication. Yeah. Create a rule. Business marketing and ads. I like how intuitive this is getting. And I want to make sure that it's in the right group too. Okay, apply 15. All right. So all of that is now added to the business group. Perfect. I love that. So hopefully, I think Monarch does a better job at stabilizing. With Simplify, I kept losing the categories and had to go back to fix everything. So shopping, health and wellness. Okay. Yeah. Travel and leisure. Really? Why is this under travel and lifestyle? It is entertainment. So subscription installation fee. Okay. I paid off a lot of credit cards, and I'll show you guys my credit card strategy. Do come back for that because I'm getting back into making sure that my credit cards are on track and they're paid for. I don't like the way I'm gonna hide this. I'm gonna see if I can hide this from, oh, okay, much better. Okay, that makes a big difference now. Okay, by hiding that, this is really showing me now what I actually spent, which is about 10,500. But that's because I paid off quite a bit of credit cards. I paid off almost $5,000 in credit card charges. So we're also going to hide this. Financial. Okay. Okay, that makes sense. Financial, that's that. Credit cards. Have this, yes. real estate investing. This is primarily a lot of bills, financial. And I also want to be for Walmart and groceries. It's more than just food and dining, right? It's also home supplies. I spent a lot of money on, yeah, I won't go into that. Housing supply, okay. Travel and leisure, okay. So I am happy with what we have here. Now we are going to translate all of this into my tracker. Okay, so this is going to be different. I feel like I'm still trying to figure out how to make this work. So I always like to look at my expenses first. Things have just changed so much from the last time. So let's look at credit cards. I have paid credit card payments. I've made $2,750 into credit card payments. Real estate investing, which is down here. See, this is different. I liked when in real estate investing, it broke things down for me a little bit more. So, for example, um, so as you can see with that clip that we just shared, it was rough me trying to figure out all of the categories. So it really took me some time to clean up everything. But now we are good. So let's go here and look at the expenses. So this is the breakdown of, I put myself here in the middle. I always like to be able to show you guys what I'm doing here. Up here on the left right hand side, this is where I'm sorting my dates. You can filter in so many ways, but this is what I like to see. Now, I do have to say one thing that I do not really care for with Monarch is that in Simplify, if I clicked on this, it will show me like how, like it's almost like it keeps breaking everything down, and I loved that visual. But right here I don't have it, but it's okay. So of course, my biggest expense is always my real estate investing. Even though the accounts are separate, what you see is that I manage everything on this software. And then credit cards is my second biggest expense. My third one are my business expense. And then I have shopping at about 2.8%, food and dining at 2.1%, utilities, home, and the rest of the stuff, right? So for the most part, as always, real estate investing and credit cards make up the biggest chunk of my weekly expenses. So this is no longer rental income, so I have to change that as well. But for now, I'll keep it where it's at. So this right here, I already came here, double checked all of the categories. So because I'm now living into one of my rental properties, some of the expenses that were rental expenses will now become personal expenses. Okay. Credit cards, I made a big dent on my credit cards this month, and I'm going to make an even bigger dent because I'm doing a lot of balance transferring, and that will save me, you guys. I think I'm looking at well over $700 a month in credit card interest payments. My business expenses, this is pretty much everything that governs my online business that I'm trying to stand up. This is very much in its infancy. So yes, everything here is perfectly categorized. Shopping, I the thing about moving is that try as you may, you always, I am finding myself kind of in a tug of war, having to spend a little bit more. One, because I moved into a new home, I cannot find certain things, but also I'm just I am finding myself buying things in bulk because I'm anticipating things going up, right? I just bought a few things to organize my home right now. And the dollar store is now the $1.50 store. So is it really smart? Probably not, but it's good for me to say this so I can get it under control. Food and dining, because of I live in rural America. Walmart is one of the main place. Walmart and Amazon are their own categories, as you're about to see in my Excel spreadsheet. Utilities. Okay, utilities, that's my phone, it's paid for. Home, I kind of lumped a whole lot of home stuff, a whole lot of things into home, but technically, when you go into my spreadsheet, I don't know how to handle this one, right? Because what Amazon started doing, if you have Monarch, it will break down your Amazon expenses. So I don't know if I should keep tracking Amazon under its own category or do what it did here, which is break it all down into their subcategories. I'm not sure what I'm going to do just yet, but I have the flexibility on my spreadsheet, right? And I had a finance charge. We'll leave it at that. So this is what it looks like here on my software. Now let's go into the Excel file. So here's the Excel file, my finance dashboard. We're looking just at week 1. So if you look at week 1, my expenses are as follow. My personal expenses were around $3,355.22. My rental expenses were $4,715.83. My business or office expenses were $404.88. That is a total of $8,475.93. And this reconciles with what I have here on the software. Of course, all of these budget numbers will have to change, right? I think these were placeholders that just don't align. So I'm going to give myself until the end of the month to kind of see where everything falls. And then I'll build a budget for August around this new category breakdown. Okay, so for right now, it looks like the one mortgage that was paid for at the beginning of the month was my 3,300, because I have 4 mortgages that I'm paying for, and I think this one is about to move in to the personal expense category, so it will most likely move here under home. It will no longer be next month. It will no longer be here on the mortgage. That's okay. Bills and expenses, 465. Rental loan. So this is actually a family rental loan that I help support my family with. And then of course the 468, this is the tractor loan. Amazon right now, oh yes, so that's kind of what I did. I lumped all of Amazon, I believe, here. So Amazon is $309. Food and dining Walmart was $180, right? So already in 4 days, right, I'm creeping into that budget. Now, to be fair to myself, yes, I am spending, but it's also more expensive, right? Another reason to start cutting back, being very conscious of what I'm spending money on, because everything, I will not be surprised if here in the next few months, we start seeing things double. I wouldn't be surprised. Some things would definitely double, in my opinion. And that was that. And in credit card, I spent about $2,700 to pay off credit cards, and I did have a finance charge. All right, so that is for the first week of July. Now let's take a look at the second week of July, okay? We'll come back here to Monarch and we will adjust to now look at the second week. So ideally, this will be week by week. I'll be doing this, but we're playing catch up. So the second week was a slower week for me, even though thank God, but the only reason why it looks lower is because I didn't pay off credit cards and I didn't pay off any mortgage this week in particular. However, look at this hot mess, right? Walmart, $467. Yes, this is a hot mess. 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 I acknowledge it. I am going to acknowledge it. Some of this stuff I'm planning on taking back. I already have it right there, but I mean, it will barely put a dent. I'm just going to be honest. But yes, so everything here is categorized. Real estate investing, so bills and utilities, property management fee, electricity, my business expense. So every single week, I do have business expense because I do have a team that helps to support my business. I also recently signed up for a women's mastermind to hopefully help me build up my business, because when you're building a business, it can be lonely, especially now that I'm like, when I lived in Dallas or in LA, I could go to different networking events. Here I'm really by myself, so having a mastermind where other women are getting together and we're talking about how to support each other in our businesses is going to become very important. Yeah, so my some of my subscriptions, so two different subscriptions. I will be reevaluating all of these different subscriptions here in the next month or so. What do I really need? What do I not need? I wasn't willing to cut back right away. In this mastermind, as I talk to other women who are doing the same things, I would like to then be able to, kind of make certain decisions as to which subscriptions do I keep, which ones do I get rid of, auto and transport. Yeah, so these are just my payments, my weekly auto payments. So my car payment, and this is something that I suggest many of you guys do, I always pay on a weekly basis. I don't pay on a monthly basis, I pay on a weekly basis. And that really helps me get rid of that payment very quickly. I'm actually about to do the same thing to my tractor loan as well, because it helps to reduce how much you're paying on the interest. Yeah, so financial, these are all of my finance charges, right? So 1 week, $160. So think about if every single week you're incurring $160. And I know that these are actually my lower cards, right? I have one card that has a higher balance. The interest rate is $350. So all of my interest rates in the past few months have been totaling close to $700. But that's being fixed here in the next month because I'm doing 0% balance transfers on almost like $36,000 worth of credit cards. So that would be a big relief. Health and wellness, that's categorized well. Home, more like these were Home Depot expenses. The cost of not being very organized, when somebody was helping me pack and they packed something that was important, so I had to make a trip to the Home Depot. Gifts and donations. Oh yeah, so this was a gift to myself for my birthday. No shame, I bought myself a bread maker. I am going to link a video over here of all of the breads that I made, and I'll be showing you guys more about my cosmopolitan farm life in a different channel. I don't want to model the discourse, so maybe here in a few months I'll be launching that other channel that's more around my farm life and what I'm doing on the farm. But right here we are going to link the videos of all of the breads that I made with this new little bread maker. I also made jam, and I attempted to make yogurt, but I only had almond milk, and it's a little bit more challenging to make non-dairy yogurt. So I cannot wait until I can actually successfully make yogurt. I'm really looking forward to eating homemade jam at home, homemade yogurt, homemade bread. My family, they all really, really enjoyed it. I was able to make bacon bread, cheese and garlic bread, brioche buns. We'll have the pictures linked up here for you so you can see. So I really did enjoy this gift. It was an expense, but it was happy birthday to myself. Great gift. No, I don't have regrets. And also that's why I ended up spending all of this money on food and dining, because most of it were bulk item to pretty much be able to make all these different breads. I ended up buying like 3 different types of flours and all of the ingredients that I needed to be able to make bread at home. So my family ended up coming over for my birthday weekend, and then I went to go see Superman. So I think that's reflected here on the lifestyle. Yeah, so I went to the AMC movie theater, took my family, we went and watched Superman. So your girl just had, it was a simple weekend, but it was a great weekend. I'm very, very thankful for my family, for, just, I don't know, I'm just really cherishing family and quality time. So yeah, no regrets. So with all of this highlighted, let's go into the spreadsheet and see what that looks like on my spreadsheet. So it looks like I was able to get a lot more taken care of this week. So my personal expenses added up to $1,146. My rental expenses for this week only added up to $394. It's interesting, right? Because you can really see the impact of my mortgage and credit cards on my spending, you know. So if I can, I mean, the good thing is I do have income that comes in to offset the rental expenses. If I can just get rid of the credit card debt, I'll be so golden. And then I have my business expenses. My business expenses tend to be very consistent. So this week it was around $325. Oh, here's why it's a little bit lower too. So the marketing ads, as you can see, I put a kibosh on a lot of the marketing ads, at least for the next few months. So that is also lowering my business expenses, but then I added the mastermind, which is increasing my cost a little bit. But I love that here on the business services and labor, we're starting to see me manage that a little bit, because moving forward, I want to take the time to maybe invest a little bit more of my own time into it, because the truth is, I enjoy the support that I have, but it has to be, in order for me to sustain it over a long period of time, it needs to be measured. Because if you look at how much I was spending there for a while, let me show you guys. For a while there, I was, especially May, if you go back here, yeah, I was at it around like 300. Oh, April was, I think, probably the worst. Um, yeah, so in April, yeah, so you see that 610, $813. That was too much. So now I feel like I'm at a place where I could sustain this, but the challenge here is that it's all coming out of pocket. The business itself is not making me money. So just things for me to keep in mind. So total it's 1866.09. If you look at this, it makes sense, right? I feel like I kind of got a lot of personal bills taken care of. My entertainment, you know, me giving myself that great little birthday gift, no regrets. Walmart, this 469 is an outlier. I would like it to be more into the $150 a week range. I might increase my Walmart spending to about 500 a month. I should be able to keep it at that. If I'm cognizant of it, there's no reason why I shouldn't be able to keep it there. Groceries and dining out, I am really not a dining out girl. Honestly, the only time I dine out is through work. So I get my dining out each when I'm working. Honestly, me myself, I really don't dine out that often. So Amazon, we're gonna get all of these things under control. Bills and utilities. Partially paid my bills here, but I need to make sure I go back. So in one of my rentals, I have a huge leak that has tripled my water bill. We're talking from normally using 10 to 12,000 gallons a month to 36,000 gallons a month. My water bill is normally around $100. It's almost over $300. So that is another problem that's being taken care of. The thing about real estate, it's not all glamour, right? You have to keep the bigger picture in mind. Remind yourself that you're building equity, you're building wealth, but if you're not careful, it might leave you broke. So that is an overview of all of my expenses from the week of July 1st all the way to July 11th. Income, I'll talk about income at the end of the month, because it's a little bit challenging for me to talk about income on a weekly basis, just because my income fluctuates so much. But I would do a final overall review at the end of the month. So that is the end of my financial check-in. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I'm making some progress. There's a lot that's going to be coming up with me and my financial check-ins. I'm really at a place where I can start back into sharing with you guys what's happening with my finances. I was taking care of it. I just wasn't putting it on video, but I'm excited. New journey, new home, soon new studio. So thank you guys for joining me on this other financial check-in. My debt pay down video is coming up. Of course, I had to be a little bit creative, do some balance transfers on my credit card debt. So I'm looking forward to sharing that with you guys very soon. As always, thank you for joining me, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.